It's exposing brilliant, cunning conspirators. That's the battle for America. And that's why we're in such a mess. And that's why year after year, these guys can talk and talk and talk and talk, debate and debate and debate, and never solve a problem. Because consistency is not stupidity. They're consistently anti-American and un-American. Now, to what extent Bill O'Reilly knows, I don't know, or Glenn Beck knows, I don't know. All I know for sure is that Glenn Beck is going to continue to get his check from Rupert Murdoch, which is $32 million a year, as long as he does not name the enemy. As long as he does not name the enemy, he will have this wonderful, fantastic audience, and he can continue to be humorous and to be lively and to be interesting, but will never name the enemy. Therefore, our American problems will never be solved. And that's why we're meeting in a living room instead of in a movie studio somewhere, even though I commend them. I'm nothing against the movie people who are here tonight. How do we get the 218 congressional districts? That's the question. Okay, fortunately, and you've got an old man here, and the reason I'm old, I've been around for a while, and I've accomplished a few things. And I've seen it happen. I know how you get a congressional district the easy way. You do not need the 200,000 or 300,000 voters in that district. You don't even need 51% of them. All you need is 1,000 people who understand the conspiracy and are willing to name it that and to call it that. And you'll get from your district a pro-Constitution, pro-free market, pro-American representative in the House of Representatives. We know this is true because we've seen it happen. We had in the 7th District of Georgia some years ago, I'm talking going way back, we had over 1,000 people who understood the conspiracy, who understood what I've been teaching you tonight about how all the roots of this and everything, how it began. And they elected a man by the name of Larry McDonald. Larry McDonald also knew about the conspiracy, and he was willing to stand up and name names and kick butts, which is exactly what he did. He was a constitutionalist 100%. He would come back into his district and ask them if they want these social programs that he's supposed to vote for. Do you want price supports for your tobacco or subsidies for your cotton? They let him vote no. He says, I can either vote for those or I can honor my oath of office. And he got a standing ovation. Honor your oath of office. Hang in there, Larry. And he did. In his last term in office, he won 70% of the vote out of that district. The same thing happened with Phil Crane in Illinois. He had the number of people that were looking for. You only need 1,000. Talk about narrowing the job down. The influence of that 1,000 people who know what the problem is affects the entire legislative district. Word of mouth, this person, those that vote, those that don't vote. You narrow it down, you've got the votes. Now, why is that so important? If a man goes to Washington, if you were elected me from this district and sent me to Washington, of course I would blow the whistle on these guys and I'd vote with the Constitution, very strictly. But I would be destroyed politically. The newspapers, the Denver Post, the Pueblo Messenger, what do you call it? Huh?
Chieftain.
Yeah, okay. They would destroy me. I'd be destroyed in the media. You, if there are 1,000 of you, you can put me back in office. 1,000 people will keep a smeared political figure, put him back in. The Atlantic Journal hated Larry McDonald and they tried to destroy him. The Chicago Tribune hated Phil Crane. We did it again over in Ohio with John Ashbrook. Fantastic, great, 100% conservative record. We're very close to having that in Ron Paul's district. Ron Paul doesn't have enough. When he has more members of our organization and people are willing to speak up, And working in concert, Ron Paul will be able to name the enemy. Right now, he has a 100% voting record on the conservative index, but he's not pointing his finger at these guys. And it would probably be his political suicide if he did. We did it in California with John Russell. We did it in Idaho with Steve Sims. So we know the formula works. We don't have to reinvent a whole population of the United States. We're organized to do that. They only fear one thing. What I'm doing right here tonight. I'm going to talk about that. I mean, they're descendants of people who run these same interests, who hold actually far more money than they had in 1900, and far more corporate interests and far more political powers. It's totally dominating the United States government. We know it can be done because we've seen it happen. And therefore, we are in the process. My friend Greg, who's here with me tonight, and his father and a number of other people. Greg will be leaving tomorrow for Minnesota, and they'll be going to Wisconsin. We have a foothold in 32 states, and we mean business. We're going to save our country, and we need your help. We've got the right formula. We've got it figured out. We know it works. We've had some experience with it, and we know it works. And we're asking you to help us make it work and get our country back. I just want to say, please help us, and God bless you, and God bless America.